Hello. Okay, this is the live Q&A catch-up briefing, debriefing call for, what are we on? Module 3.1. Awesome. Hey, Jen just dropped in to join us too, and there'll be a couple more, I think, dropping in. So we'll get straight into it. Just take a moment and just be present. So make sure you turn off your phones or whatever, and just let's spend the next hour really connecting and tuning into all that awesome energy that we've always got going in the Facebook group, but these calls are really special because it's when we get to really connect with one another. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment and enjoy it, and just take a deep breath in, and just feeling everything slowing down for a moment, letting go with the out breath. And just noticing what it's like to actually be present. Just allowing all those external things to drift off. So at the end of the day, nothing's really important. And you find your center again as you just close your eyes, set the intention, and just take another deep, long, slow breath in. Feeling the chair, feeling the earth under your feet, noticing the energy rising through your body, and feeling yourself connecting up through the crown of your head into that beautiful universal flow of energy and intelligence, knowing that everything you need is always there for you. And when you get aligned, when you get yourself into this space, everything flows easily and time becomes almost irrelevant. It's not about time. It's not even about what you do. It's about the leverage of alignment. And that's what we're practicing both in this program and in every moment. So just one more deep breath in and really enjoying that. Seeing that stream of energy flowing all the way through your body, noticing yourself, maybe even wriggling yourself and adjusting yourself to really be right in the center of that stream. Really enjoy it. Notice how much more easily you get to do this these days. And just letting it go. Beautiful. Feels like we're much more connected and grounded now. That's beautiful. Awesome. So unmute yourselves at any time if you need to jump in. Pop your names in the chat box if you've got questions for the end, just general questions that are not like module specific stuff. I'll keep a little list going as well, and we'll make sure we cover them all off before we go. And I'll just double check. Yes, I am recording. Okay, cool. So let's take a moment, just go around the people who are here, because it's, you know, just a good sized group. I want to hear from you. What are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? Jen Lang, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, I haven't seen you on video yet, so I don't want to unmute you just in case you're busy doing something that, you know, you don't want us listening in on. Jennifer. Hello. I can see you now, but I still can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Now I can. Now, yep, that's all good.
Awesome.
How are you going?
Me, personally, I am recovering from a really intense week. My husband left for Bali on Monday, and it's been full on since 2 days before he left, basically. And so I had a cancellation this morning at 7 a.m. here. I had a cancellation for 9:30 this morning, so I'm going to work straight through this morning, and then I'm going to take the afternoon off. Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
I've been practicing more of the visioning, but a lot of the effectology stuff has been like back burner until I can plan my week more effectively.
Yeah.
But I've been re-listening to the calls. I've been re-listening to module 2, and that's been great. Yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
Well, it's all there for you. So yeah, the most important thing is get on a live call whenever you can, because it keeps you connected. And you know, I always touch on stuff so that you still know what's going on, and then you can kind of go back over it when you've got that bit more space to go slowly. So what are we celebrating for you?
We're celebrating. Let me turn off the fan 1 sec. Celebrating a month of Oh, you know what? Actually, no. 2 weeks ago, when I was in the Seychelles, I had a really up-leveled Reiki experience. I had a client that really took me to the next level up, whatever you want to call it, and it was super intense. But since that session, I have felt a lot more. It's much more easy. It's much easier for me to just go into a place of connection and meditation and spirit.
Nice.
So that's been, yeah, that's totally worth celebrating.
Absolutely. Feels amazing. And, you know,
Yeah.
like it's sort of unlimited benefit you get out of that. So well done. Nice. And yes, I saw your photos. And I was thinking, lucky duck.
It was awesome. It was so needed, but it was awesome. I knew that as soon as I came back from Seychelles, I knew it would be intensive, and it has been, and that's okay. And now it's our weekend, Friday, Saturday, so I'm going to just plan out the next 3 to 4 weeks until Kirk gets back, so that everything runs smoothly.
Nice. And you've got all that space and time. I've got a house to myself as well. I just put my husband on a plane to Canberra this morning to go see his mum, who fell off a stool and broke, like she's got a fracture inside her tibia where her brand new hip replacement was setting, because she thinks she's still 25 and won't listen. So she was probably, I reckon, we have a theory that she's probably climbing on the stool to get somewhere high, that she's not telling the full story, because you don't just fall off a stool. But anyway, so I have the house to myself as well. Yay.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a nice feeling. Actually,
it is.
This is so silly, but I'm looking forward to eating my way through the food that we have here, because I feel like I need to clean everything out. And my husband is like, he's like his mother was, where whenever he's stressed or a little bit like, I don't know what to do, he goes grocery shopping.
Oh, okay.
And, oh my God, his mother, like, seriously, it was like she was preparing for like the apocalypse. She used to have a whole clothing closet full of shelves of food.
What's going on there?
So it's not quite like that, because we don't have the room in this apartment, but when he wants to eat something, he'll go to the grocery store and buy exactly what he wants to cook instead of planning. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to eat my way through this food and plan my meals according to what's left in the cupboards.
Nice.
And supplement. Yeah, it's just
love it.
Part of that clearing out, right?
Exactly. Destroying the evidence. Throwing yourself on the sword.
There's no evidence. It's just kind of one of those like, okay, I'm gonna make some awesome jars of salad, and I have this huge bag of chia seeds that I got in Canada. It's enormous. And so maybe I'll post in there. If you guys have recipes that use chia seeds, send them my way. It's like a kilo.
Oh my God. Lots of chia pudding I see coming, but it swells as well. You can't use that much in chia seeds. It's not like the sesame seeds where you can, Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. That's on the fun side of things. So clearing out on multiple levels, spiritual, food-wise.
Good stuff.
Good.
Thanks, Jen. All right, I'm just going to work down the list. Let's say a quick hello to Lee. Hi, Lee.
Hi, how you going?
Yeah, good. Just moving. That's okay. I'm just working my way around. Just a quick one to check in, see how you're going, and also just what are we celebrating? Let's share some celebrations.
Can you go to someone else? Sorry, I've just had
a
person turn up, and I'll be one
No
second.
probs. Yep.
Sorry.
I'll come back to you.
Thanks.
No probs. I'll mute you. Who's next down my list? Layla. Oops. Can you unmute yourself, please? I can't do it from this end for some reason.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Looking lovely in green. You and Trish are matching. Did you ring each other? Oh, me too. Look.
Yeah, we're all in green today. It's interesting reflecting on what I'm celebrating. I think that I'm actually feeling really wired, like I've had too much coffee and I've hardly had any coffee. I think that's because energetically things are happening quite quickly. And we talked last time about how I'm changing up the Bali retreat. So I think that's been the major source of Well, it's been kind of a source of stress, but also it's made me really start thinking about, well, what do I want out of the next Bali retreat? And so that's where most of my manifesting energy has been going.
Mm.
And you'd be proud of me, Miriam. I decided, right, I'm not just going to put it out to the world and say who would like to come. I'm actually going to call them in. So I've written a list of names of people that I would like to be at the next retreat, because I've got about 100 people on my list, and people that I work with, people who come to the women's group and who are coming to other retreats that I run. And I thought, I'm going to be really proactive about this and say, I want you in Bali. Bali is the pinnacle of what I do, and I think you would get a lot from it. So that was a really interesting thing, to write down the names that I'd like to take to Bali, and it just changed the whole the way that I approach it, because normally I kind of open it up and go, oh, who wants to come? And this was like, here's a group of people who I know would get a whole lot out of coming. I'm going to, and I actually have sent some emails to some of them.
Good. I was going to say, actually do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will slowly work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other people have committed themselves to that list. So I'm working on niching, working on Facebook advertising, really drawing in my ideal clients. Like I'm beginning to realize that I've been a bit frightened of niching. I've been frightened of really getting out there and saying, this is what I do and this is who I'd like to work with. So I had a business coaching session yesterday with Cara Lambert from the Heart-Centered Soul Driven. And that was really helpful, to just go through the Facebook Ads Manager and see how I could actually set up an ad targeted at a niche that I think, I know that they're a niche that I love working, because I have people. And so I'm getting closer and closer to niching. I'm not quite there yet, but it's happening.
And once you realize how powerful it is, like how much traction and cut through you get, you're going to be you're going to be obsessed with figuring out how to niche even further.
Well, I'm looking forward to the journey, because I just had this huge fear of missing out, and even naming that it's women that I want. Interestingly enough, Google Analytics sent me the April breakdown of my Facebook, my website. And it turns out that I have more men visiting my website than women.
Interesting.
And also a much younger cohort than I thought as well. So I suppose I'm going to try to use all of that information. I'm feeling like my head's really full of all this stuff. I'm so not a business manager or a Google Analytics person. So I feel like I've got a lot of new information and I'm not quite sure how to use it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's important that you build the business that fulfills you, that lights you up, that you feel in alignment with. And if you're attracting lots of men, but you don't really want to talk to men, then it just means that you've got to tweak your messaging or whatever it is that's bringing them in, to make it clear that, I don't really want to work with you guys. And I've had this over the years too, because you get the odd man who would actually be really wonderful and would really love to work in this sort of space with me, or, with all the people. But it's like, no, but generally speaking, no. If I've run a couples weekend before, but even that was really interesting, because half of them did put their hand up when I said, who feels like they've been dragged here by their partner? And, by the end of it, it was fantastic. But it's just, these things do keep coming along, just to test your willingness to stand firm and what is going to work for you. And when you're in full alignment, you'll always attract them, because there's plenty of them out there. So yeah. So it always comes back to you. You run your business. You choose the rules. You decide what your terms are. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, that was a really interesting turning point with my partner, who I've just told I don't want to work with anymore, because she was saying to me, I was talking about how I have ideal clients. I know the people that I want to work with. And she said, but what about all the people who could benefit so much from working with you but aren't quite ready? And I had this really strong reaction to it, because the first Bali retreat was exactly that. They were all clients who came along and they loved the yoga, but the group work was actually very difficult because they weren't ready for it. And they kind of wanted it, but who didn't, and there was ambivalence, and it was just really hard for me. That's how, I mean, I can see that it's not actually good for me to work with those people. And I said, I'm not in the business of rescuing people anymore. They need to have got to a point where they actually want to do this work. And then I'm right there.
Yeah. And when they're not there yet, there's plenty of things that help them get to that level. And when they're ready to get to that level, you're there. You know, when they're ready to step into it, you're there. That's kind of how it works. Beautiful. Well, you're motoring ahead. No wonder you're feeling all jazzed with energy. That's really cool. So just, you know, this module 3 that we're on now, very important, because you want to make sure you keep taking care of yourself and stay in alignment, because you're traveling faster, and it's important to stay on the road when you start traveling faster. It's fun though. All right, I'm muting you, and Lee's back, so you're all right to have a chat. I can't unmute you either. I don't know what that is. Oh, I've got it. Oh, you got it. Cool. How are you, love?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I haven't been to a live session for weeks. But Samir and I caught up during the week because I felt like I was really out of the loop with it all, and just needed to kind of tap into it properly. So that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Are we talking about small wins for the week?
Yeah, tell us what you're celebrating, or just what's going on with you in general, if you feel like sharing.
Okay. I think it was my small win from last week that I got my VA sorted.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I've got another one now because that one had some issues going on, so I've got someone else. But yeah, in terms of like my business stuff, I feel like I'm starting to expand and go with it, and just trying to figure out what I need to be doing to make it all happen, rather than trying to do it on myself, basically. So yeah, so
awesome.
That's me. Yeah,
that's a big step. You know, just letting go of that control and handing stuff over and delegating, and just going, yeah, you know, I can do it. I can pay someone. I'm going to have the work for them, and so on. And yeah, so that was really exciting. And everyone's businesses are kind of starting to really tick over. So we might agree on a hashtag or something where we start pooling, you know, just where you can just reach out and ask for resources, you know, whether it's hashtag BizHelp or whatever, or don't even worry about a hashtag. But the hashtags just help, because when you see the post, you know what it's about. So maybe hashtag BizSupport or something like that. But, you know, like you're hiring a VA. I didn't know that. I've got a list of VAs. Oh, we talked about this. You didn't nag me about it.
No, that's okay,
we talked about this in our catch-up, and I'm totally forgot.
No, that's okay, because I really needed someone specifically to do the eBay stuff that is particular. So yeah, it's all good. My other good thing is that I actually got some new headphones this week, because I haven't been gone into some of the calls because I'm working and I can't listen from where I am. So yesterday I was like, or the day before, I was like, right, I'm going to get my good headphones, and then I'll be able to do my meditations in the morning while my daughter's asleep. So then, yeah, that was just a little thing that I needed to get done. But you know, seems to be like a pain. The little things don't get done, and then it's all. But yeah, I've got them now, so I'm ready to go. Yeah. So.
Yay. Awesome. Yeah, it is. It's those little things of like, you know, go get the headphones so that you can do all these other things that are just not quite happening. And it's just little things do make a big difference. Yeah, they do. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll make sure we get some business support, like pooling of resources and so on, happening in the group, because everyone has got really good complementary businesses and are going through similar things. So even just feedback, you know, I put up something last week saying if you want help with your pitch or your elevator pitch or your target market or whatever, let us know. So we can, you know, the focus of our work is on this, like on being aligned and all of what that means. But at the same time, you know, it's about marrying the magical with the practical. So if it's like, does anybody know how to do this and that, then we can drop in links and share stuff and whatever. And that's really, really helpful. Awesome. Well, it's good to see you on the call. So I'll mute you. And who's next down my list? Julike. Hello, beautiful. Oh, I've unmuted. Yeah, that's it. Got it. Hi.
Yeah, Yeah, I was thinking, but I feel that I kind of already shared so many small steps. And
that's okay. Share again.
Yeah, yeah. And this week, what I really love is doing the gratitude in the morning and in the evening, and it's really helping me to stay at such a higher vibrating level. And I never was, I never done gratitude in that way. But it's really helpful. And yeah, just doing all those little steps and sometimes bigger steps. So yeah, I feel
awesome.
Good.
Yeah. And it's easy, right?
Yeah, but it is. You have to stick with it, and that's like doing this together. Just keep doing it, and doing all those. Keep doing all the pattern interruptions as well, because that's really helpful. And,
totally.
Yeah, definitely.
And it all builds on top of each other, and it gets easier over time. So you just stick with it, you have good days, bad days, you have big leaps ahead and days where you think like, what's going on? I'm going backwards.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just stick with it, reach out in the group. You've got buddies, like the buddy's your sort of support person. So that's why I want you to all to keep really close eye on your buddy. If your buddy goes quiet, chase them up.
Yeah.
Because if you're all just paying attention to one person, it's much easier to notice if they've gone quiet. Whereas, as a whole group, sometimes it's a little bit hard to notice when one or two people have gone a little bit quiet because, there's more of us. So, really important. If you see your buddy go a little bit quiet, just give them a little pep up to see how you can support them. So,
What I also love, like manifestation-wise, that I'm sometimes so amazed how if you put in a desire, just thinking about something, and then something just pops up here, and something is there, and it's like sometimes you feel so powerful I feel experience so powerful in the manifesting part. It is like, it is, if you are using that way more specific, then it's so cool. Already with the little things, manifestations can be so easy that it's just, I just love that.
Yeah. And the little things are so much easier in the beginning because you're not so attached to them, right?
Yeah.
And you just put out this little desire and you go, oh, that'd be cool. Wouldn't that be fun? And meanwhile, you get busy, doing the things that raise your vibration, that keep you in that high vibrating place. And it just pops. It just goes, oh, here you go, because there's no resistance. So again, it's sticking with that and letting it build and building your confidence, and then you get better and better at doing it on the things that are the bigger topics and bigger subjects. So doing good, baby. Doing good. All right, let me mute you for a sec. Samia, how are you, love?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good. So what I have for celebration is actually the school holidays for my son. I really relaxed at those 2 weeks and was the best thing I have done, because I really took a holiday with him.
Well done.
We didn't go anywhere, but
Great.
I didn't think like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything in my business. And so it was good. I come back with a new energy. And then the second thing, I declutter a lot at home and in my car, because it was like full of things, and I felt more space and in time as well.
Nice.
And looks like my husband is helped me tidying up things more now. So it was good. And I'm in transition. Is still a little bit afraid to move from confidence coach to intuitive business coach. So I'm in this transitions mode, afraid, like, oh my God, I'm going to change again. And it's still molding a new thing that I don't know how it looks like. And act as if I got some travel magazines and I was looking at, just to have the feeling. And I saw some tulips. Is the name of the flower? Is this tulips?
Yeah, tulips. Tulips, yeah.
Tulips. And I saw a lot of tulips in that magazine. And then I remembered that tulips was I put that picture in my vision board and represented abundance.
Nice.
And I saw, oh, really cool. So I think I'm going to buy some tulips to put at home. Yeah, so it's little steps. Just my question is how we put like a turbine on it to raise a little bit faster.
Okay, so yeah,
but
we'll get into that. Start getting into that today. Yeah, but it's a little bit like what I said to Layla before. You're starting to gather up speed. You want to make sure you keep your wheels on the road, right? You don't want to put a turbo boost. Like if you're just learning to ride a bike and you're still wobbly, where you keep going, whoops, and you have to put a foot down. So you don't want to put a turbo boost on that because you're going to get hurt. So you want to make sure that you get stable and then you can go faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it. It's good. So, and then if anyone's giving me more ideas into the intuitive business coach, because I was like, I'm not a formal business coach, like I understand, but I'm not like the consultant that's going to do like, do this, do that, do that. But I'm going to feel it in another person if it's the right way, they're not, and use the intuition that I have.
Yeah. And it's probably something you can actually, transition across to without having to sort of draw this huge line in the sand. Because as a confidence coach, aren't you also coaching people about their business and using your intuition?
Yes. Yeah. It's just in terms of marketing,
Yeah. So it's just the label you're giving yourself. But, I would just say, don't be in a big rush to rebrand, change everything and go, this is who I now am. Like allow you, if you've already got clients you're working with or people you're interested in, like just start shifting your language a little bit and, again, it's like the bike analogy. You'll start getting a bit more stable and then you get to the point where you go, okay, cool. It's time to really make the switch now. Because it's not like you're going from, GP to Bali retreat leader Gestalt therapy, where you really, although Layla has managed to, because it's both about wellness, it's about helping people, but it's not such a big so are you a plumber or are you a brain surgeon? Make up your mind. It's not such a huge contrasting thing. So you can kind of start weaving it in. So take the pressure off yourself, because if you put too much pressure on yourself to make this big switch and suddenly everything's different, it can actually kind of cramp you down. So just start playing with it, expanding, and use the group, like we just talked about. Let's use the group as a bit of a mastermind brainstorming and just bounce ideas.
The talk I had with Lee this week was really good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we've got the most amazing women in this group. So, it's awesome. All right. Thank you, my love. I will mute you. And who have I not yet spoken? Oh, there's a couple you haven't spoken to yet. Okay. Trish, hello. What are we celebrating? Can you unmute yourself? I'll celebrate that first of all, that I can hear you. Hello.
Hi. Yeah. What am I celebrating? All sorts. I've been having a lovely time.
Good.
I did that. I had a dinner party with some friends.
Yes, you did.
And that was super cool. That was brilliant.
So much fun. Did people dress up?
Oh my gosh, a little bit of dressing up, and not over the top, but it was kind of like enough that it shifted us.
Yeah.
Through the portal to 5 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just fun to see how it all evolved and it grew, and then I don't know, it was just freaking cool. So yeah, that was great. I don't know, I've just been having a really lovely time. I've been really enjoying all of this and the visualizing and the pattern instructs and playing with all of that. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of bouncing off the balance between just needing to rest school holidays kind of did a number on me, and getting over the flu and all of that, and yeah, had headaches, and I don't know, my health stuff's been, I feel like I need to change this idea about when I push limits that I get sick, because I've been having a few kind of get going, get sick, need to rest, get going, need to sick.
Yeah.
Need to rest. So there's something going on there. Like I'm definitely pushing some limits, but it's my body's like throwing up its hands and going, ah. So that's something I feel like I need to work on, being able to push limits without falling in a heap for a week. But that's all right.
Or maybe staying more aligned so you're not pushing yourself as hard. So you're able to, you know, just ride the momentum rather than trying to push it with action.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like I've been pushing with action. Like I've just been cruising along doing things, but then something will come up and it'll be a bit like edgy, and then... Yeah,
because your language was, I'm pushing my limits. Like so your language was all around, I am pushing myself harder than I can. Than my body can handle. So you want to shift that belief for starters.
Yeah, there's something I need to shift around that, because I kind of get my momentum going with my business, and then all of a sudden I've got a flu and I can't really speak, or my kids go off to their dads, and that's really great, and I'm like, yes, time to jump into my business again, and I have migraines for the next 3 days. So it's that sort of I know there's something going on, but other than that, I'm doing great. I'm in a really happy, good place.
Cool.
Just not, really sort of slotting back into my business easily after this flu school holiday thing. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Go easy. Yeah, school holidays are hard with young kids. Like it's just exhausting, and so I was really happy to hear Sammy go, no, I just took time out, and it's like giving into it, because when you push against it, it's just horrible, and it gets exhausting.
No, we had
so
beautiful, like my time when my kids was great. It was the time that they then went to their dads, so that was like, right, my time. And well, it was my time. Had a beautiful time. So
definitely do some journaling, do some digging around that, like what's going on. Like every time that I actually get to, you know, really focus on my business and get stuck in and make things happen, I get slapped down. What is that about? So everyone's going, yep, me too, been pushing. Layla, wondering about this, feels like too much happening. My merry-go-round is going so fast and I can't get off. Yeah, and see, when you're in alignment, it feels great. Like when you're in alignment and you're going fast, it feels perfect. It feels totally natural. When you're slightly out of alignment, it starts getting scary and you can get knocked off in the bushes. So it's all about maintaining alignment, which is why I need you guys to really focus on the basics, because if you don't get the basics down pat and you don't manage to stay in alignment and really catch yourself really quickly and get yourself back on track and know when to back off and all of that, then, you know, going faster is just going to actually accentuate the gap between where you want to be and where you currently are, and you get flung off in the bushes. So that's what Module 3 is all about. It's really practicing your alignment. So we're starting with the really simple things. I'm going to just mute you for a second. People keep popping in, so I still want to get around and say a quick... And here, hang on, who have I not spoken to? Sharon. What are you celebrating, Sharon? Beautiful to see you as well. I saw your post this morning. That was so good. Oops, I unmuted you, I thought, but maybe it didn't. Oh, do you not have sound, love? She's typing a lot. Oh, fair enough. I'm sorry. Let me mute you again then. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, you're at the dealership. Nice. All right. Let us know what we're celebrating besides your major epiphany, which is totally cool to celebrate. That was awesome. And it just feels like you're back, like you kind of went, I'm going to go out and search for Sharon. And then you came back and went, oh, there she is. She's been there the whole time. Been feeling stuck, but that started to move this morning with the appreciation. Yeah, like it's so simple but so powerful, you know. Just stop, slow down, appreciate, like actually feel that feeling, and it just pulls everything back together. Yeah, the moon was a weird one. Beautiful. Thank you, darling. And thank you for still managing to catch up with us. I know you've been on the road and doing stuff, so it's not always easy. Now, Angie, I can see you've joined us, and I've got a feeling you may be at work. Unmute yourself if you can have a quick chat, because I want to hear what you're celebrating. And if you can't, that's okay. Just type in the chat box if you can. She might just be fly on the wall listening in, which is totally cool. Because I can't unmute. It works. I don't know why it works for some people that I can unmute them, and others you have to unmute yourselves. Okay, cool. So that was a really good round of celebrations and stuff. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to do a super quick recap of the previous lesson, which was 2.3. And, you know, we were still talking about interrupting the old patterns, right? So, but we moved more onto physical things. So we talked about acting as if, and acting as if not being about, you know, I want to pretend and I'm going to like just bounce myself right out by going way too hard. And I'm also not going to pretend what I'm not, to the point that, you know, it activates the gap and the voice in the back of my mind going, oh, that's big. It's about just having fun with it. Exactly what Trish did with her friends. Hey, let's pretend it's our 5-year reunion, and let's talk about all the things that we've been up to and the cool stuff that's happened to us, you know, and it's just fun. So it's a vibration raising technique, but it's also a way to start really, you know, throwing the old patterns off, because it doesn't match. So it's another pattern interrupt as well. And really what it is you starting to practice being that person that, you know, you wrote down in, what was it, module 1.3, where we did be, do, have, and you wrote, you know, who do I need to be to actually have and do the stuff that I'm after? Yeah, the 5-year reunion thing is so powerful. I do it at my Bali retreats, and it's something that we do with Mike Dooley at our trainer conferences. So it's so much fun, and it's amazing like how much the momentum gets going and people really get on a roll, because you're actually opening, you know, you're opening the doors to all this cool stuff. So it's about just starting to try it on, you know. And so acting as if can be all sorts of things. It can be going to test drive the car you want to have. It can be going to open homes. It can be getting business cards printed of the business you really want to have, or writing yourself a check like, you know, Jim Carrey did, and keeping it in your wallet or banking it, or, you know, just even little things you can do is you can write yourself little checks and whatever, and you can give them, you know, like address it to yourself, put a stamp on it, and just give it to different people and go, can you post this like in a couple of months? Can you post this in like 4 months? People that you trust, and just have them arrive, you know, or little love notes or little invitations to speak at something, or to, you know, whatever it is, like, right? Like just keep yourself, like keep figuring out little fun ways you can bump yourself out of the old pattern and start, you know, going, oh, maybe this is the pattern I run now. You know, and just the more of that you do, the more consistently, the more it starts creating that new pattern and creating strength in that. So just remember that, you know, I talk in the lesson as well about the horrid hows, which is when you get bogged down into how things have to work out. When you start trying to micromanage the universe and go, well, you know, this doesn't look like it's happening the way that I think it should. And if that doesn't happen, then I can't possibly see how the next step and the next step and the next step can happen. So I'm going to really fixate on this here right now, because if this doesn't get fixed, I can't have anything else I want. So make sure you don't get caught up in that. Like there is, you know, you still need to be aware of infinite possibilities, infinite intelligence. Worry about the end result. There are so many different ways it can happen, and there are ways that are so much better than anything you can possibly imagine and conceive of. So, you know, that's where the trust comes in. Yeah, and, you know, those of us who are really logically brained, it's always like, but how, but how, but how, but how, you know, I'm the same. So that's where faith comes in, and that's where I talk about faith. Faith is an activity. Faith isn't about sitting back and going, oh, please, dear God, I hope that all works out. I'm shitting myself. No, faith is about actually demonstrating that you expect something to happen. So that's where your baby steps come in, right? Faith is about taking that first step in that direction. Like, you know, Lee hired a VA. It's a big baby step. It's a step in the right direction. Like, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. Layla started running her Facebook ads, you know, like you guys are all doing those little things that demonstrate that this is the general direction that we're heading into. I'm going to start the momentum going. And remember, you know, the video and how powerful that is. I love that video. Like, it's my absolute favorite, and just demonstrating that we look at the end thing and we go, wow, how will I ever, like, that's just huge. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do all the other dominoes along the way. You just have to do the first one. But remember not to get fixated on, this is my domino and this is the exact way it has to face. So baby steps is about opening possibilities. It's about doing lots of things without being attached to exactly which one's the one that's going to, you know, start the domino rally. So Mike Dooley says, you know, knock on lots of doors without knowing which one will be the one to open. Just open up possibilities. So that's what that was all about. And I think you guys have all nailed this lesson, because I asked you to choose a couple of ways that you can act as if, and also some baby steps to take and to actually do them. So does anybody have any questions or anything we haven't talked about yet? Because that's an important lesson, and, you know, it has little subtle nuances within it. So the more that we discuss it, the better, because, you know, you might feel like, oh, we've already talked about this, but when you go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, you actually really start understanding it more and more, which is why, you know, once we finish going through these 6 modules, you guys will, I encourage you strongly to go back and, you know, go through again, because every time you go through it, you're going to go deeper. You're going to understand those fine nuances better. So, Angie, how do I stop the cancellation of clients without focusing on it? Well, if you focus on it, you can't stop it. For starters, when you try to stop something, you're actually giving it more energy, which means you're feeding it. So the question's almost like a, what's the word? Yeah, the more you focus on it, the more of that you're going to get. Okay, so it's actually about letting, so I talk about get off the subject and get on the vibration. So every time you focus on, oh, another client's cancelled, why are they all cancelling? How do I stop it? What do I do about this? You're actually feeding that energy. So you actually need to leave that subject alone. You've already put your request out. So go back to lesson, I think it's 2.1. Where do I talk about the waiter and placing your order? It's somewhere in module 2, right? Where I talk about, it's like placing your order at the restaurant. You don't need to keep placing your order over and over and over again. They got it the first time. What you then need to do is your part of the job, which is sit at the table, enjoy yourself, and let them deliver it to you. So when something becomes an issue, it's even more important to find ways to distract yourself and get the hell out of that vibration, because right now, when you're invested in it, and, you know, people do this with money or with clients or with all sorts of things or with relationships, and the more you get invested in, the more you try and get in there and fix it, the worse you're actually making it. And then, you know, you're the one that keeps it going, because at the end of the day, it's your energy. So general kind of questions like that, I'm also going to answer, I always answer at the end of the call. So absolutely, if you've got more questions or you want to, you know, like do a conversation, we do all that at the end. But yeah, the short answer is get off that topic and get on the vibration that matches the end result you do want. Because when you're trying to stop it, you're actually on the vibration of getting the thing you don't want. I think that made sense. Okay, knocking on many doors. Yes, Linda, let's talk about that. So yeah, questions about lesson 2.3 right now. But any other questions, just put me a comment in the chat box, because I'm keeping a list and we'll cover them all off, and I'll stay here until they're all answered. Linda, knocking on lots of doors. What's your question, darling? Oh, hang on. Hi.
Oh, hi. Just a quick one as far as having lots of opportunities which often present themselves. At the moment, I'm trying to get stable, I guess, by releasing a lot of stuff that's been pent up. And as opportunities start coming in, I'm also aware that I need to also stay focused at the same time on making sure I'm reining it in a little bit as well. So that's sort of causing a little bit of a conundrum in my own mind sometimes.
Cool. So I have a quick question, if it's possible to open up a Pandora's box and say, can we make it quick? Quick question, what do you mean by stuff's been pent up?
I've just got some pretty big emotions that have been festering for a while, coming to the surface.
Pretty big, sorry, did you say gremlins?
Gremlins, emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah.
So there's a lot of energy and a lot of mixed vibration there as all of that's starting to settle. Okay, cool. So your question basically, I'll throw it back at you to make sure I've got it right. So your question is basically, how do I knock on lots of doors without distracting myself and losing focus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're focusing, so we're talking about your business and what it is you want to do, because you've got, all these different ways of doing it. So you want this, so you've got this end result in mind of what you want to do now, what you're focusing on as an end result. So focus on that end result. But the road to get there can have so many different starting points, right? So I'm not saying take baby steps and knock on lots of doors that are like about, other old business models you had or different ideas or whatever. Still keep it, things that can lead to this, but give it lots of opportunities. So with that lens of, is it a match to that final picture, and not getting bogged down into this is the linear way that I can see it, so this is the way it has to be. So still staying open to the opportunities, but you start here and you want to get there, but you might go this way and zigzag around, you might go that way and zigzag around, you might go in here and do a little bit of a snaky thing. There's different ways you can get started. Is that making sense?
Yep.
So still look at it through the lens of, is it actually, to get to that final thing, is this a possible starting point? And what else is a possible starting point? How many other possible starting points are there to get to that end thing? Does that help you reframe it and see it a bit differently?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah? Oh, cool. Oh, that was easy. I skipped a comment by Sharon. Sorry. I like the little steps. Joe Bendel says, do one little thing a day. At the end of the year, you've done 365 things. Yeah, it's all about little things. People get totally freaked out and overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once and fix everything at once, and then nothing ends up changing because it's just all way too much. So it is about focusing down. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or anything they wanted to share about that lesson 2.3 where we did baby steps acting as if? Good. Okay, cool. We've talked about it quite a bit already, so that's all good. Okay, so let's move on to module 3. Now, module 3 is really huge. The whole module is really about getting in alignment and staying in alignment. And for a lot of people, this is what they want to jump straight to. And as you've noticed, we didn't jump straight into it because there are things you need to understand before you worry about getting in alignment. Like, what do you actually want to get in alignment with? Why the hell? What's it all about? And how do I, when I catch myself dropping back out of alignment, how do I interrupt the old patterns to make it easier to start this new pattern of being in alignment? Because ultimately, this is the only thing you actually ever really need to master, but all the other stuff really helps you master it quicker. Because when you have old patterns that like to kind of try to still intrude and keep running, then you need those pattern interrupts. All the stuff we've done so far really helps you get this happening faster, more consistently, in a more stable way, because alignment is not something where once it's clicked into place, you lock it in and away you go and that's it. Like, it's a moment by moment thing. And it comes down to how in tune you are with what's going on and how good your habits are around getting yourself in alignment and keeping yourself in alignment. So this whole module is about really practical processes, right? Basically, I take you through all my favorite processes. A lot of them are based on Abraham Hicks's work and their processes, because they're brilliant and there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So we're going to go, you know, it's fairly narrow work. Like, we're just focusing really on alignment. That's it. But we're going to go really deep. And that's when I talk about immersion. You've got to just stick with it. You've got to, like, really almost be obsessed with it and just make that decision that I'm going to keep doing this again and again and again. And maybe I'm not getting it, and maybe it's pissing me off, and maybe it's frustrating, and maybe right now Miriam's pissing me off because she just keeps saying, well, don't worry about that, just worry about this. And, you know, but even beyond all that, your work is to learn how to achieve and maintain vibrational alignment. And once you get to do that, you don't need to worry about anything else anymore. And as simple as that sounds, there is no magic bullet. It takes immersion, it takes persistence, it takes consistency, and it takes a real commitment to doing the work and being able to just start again, because, you know, it's a moment by moment thing, like I already said. Sharon said, I can see the journey. I had to work out what was important to me before I can get into alignment with what I want. Exactly. Otherwise, like, alignment with what? With good stuff? What's good stuff? I had to work out who I am before I could see where I'm going. Exactly. Thank you. She said it so beautifully. So the first lesson, so what I recapped on at the start of this lesson is just the power of emotion. So, you know, we go through the thoughts become things process and the cycle. And, you know, we've talked about how to interrupt old patterns and start building new ones by accessing all these different points within that cycle. And really, when you look at emotions, to me, they're the obvious, easiest hack in, because to shift beliefs takes a little bit of effort. Your perceptions are kind of a product of your beliefs, so they're a bit hard to shift. Your thoughts, there's way too many to monitor. Your words and your actions are still pretty habitual. And yes, your emotions are also habitual, because your emotions are chemicals cascading through your body and we get hooked on them. You know, we all know people addicted to stress, people addicted to worry, people addicted to anger. So, you know, our little receptor cells are hooked on certain, neuropeptides. So, yes, emotions are very addictive, but they're also very easy to monitor. So, and they're also something that you can really take control of and get a hold of nice and early in the day and start building a positive momentum on positive vibration. So, basically, I want you to think of emotions as the GPS to your dreams, to your life. Because your emotions, you know, make it really simple. Am I feeling good? If you're feeling good, it means you're in alignment with the highest part of you. It means you're in alignment with the part of you that knows you are the creator of your reality, that knows that all the possibilities are always open and available to you. And that's why it feels so good, because there is no split energy. There is no gap, right? The bad feeling, the negative emotion lets you know there's a gap between what the higher part of you, which is actually the bigger part of you, already knows, already feels, where it lives and spends its time, and the part of you that's down here having this physical experience and convinced that, you know, you're just this body having to muddle through the day and try and get through the week. So when there's a big divide split in that energy, Jen, speak. Oh, I can't unmute you, sorry. Oh. Hey.
Okay.
Sorry, can you unmute yourself, Jen? I can't seem to do it.
I just unmuted myself.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Lovely, thanks. Yes,
sorry
I can
to
now.
interrupt.
Thank you.
It was good flow, but I wanted to share this sort of related switch and ditch that I just came up with yesterday, because I was driving by and the traffic was driving me mental, and I felt myself getting caught into this pattern of you effing a-hole. I just kind of just have to go with the flow. And I thought, how can I reframe this? So then I started having a conversation, talking to myself in the car, talking to the other driver, saying, wow, you must really be in a hurry to get somewhere. Okay, I totally respect that. There you go. Just go ahead. And it was, I had to practice that a number of times yesterday, but it was.
I like it.
It was, I just sort of caught myself and I'm like, oh, you're getting caught into that pattern of asshole drivers, of which there are plenty throughout the world. So that was my switching ditch, and related to what you were saying about changing the pattern and also changing the emotional pattern, because I realized I didn't hear my parents say, you know, the F-bomb and things like that, but I grew up hearing them, you know, talking, oh, what a loser, what a jerk, you know, stupid driver. So I'm like, I need to change that pattern and just focus on my driving.
Yeah, awesome. And, you know, it's absolutely correct. Like, how do you know that that person who just cut you off in traffic, who's, you know, acting like an asshole, that they're not like rushing home because their wife's in labor or off to the hospital because their mother fell off a stool like my mother-in-law did? You know, how do you know like what's going on for other people? So it's, again, it's your perception, you know, it's the lens through which you choose to see the world based on your beliefs about the world. Oh, there's asshole drivers all over the place, and I'm proven right over and over again because there's another one, you know, like law of attraction just goes, yep, sure, whatever you want. Yeah, as you wish. Here's another one. And so when you start shifting, you know, with the pattern interrupts, even shifting that perception and going, well, maybe this person really is in a huge hurry. Even if you just do it, you know, once and then once again down the track, you're actually breaking that cycle. And yeah, it's you know, it's something that is just so habitual. And you get in the car, and I notice it with my husband, like he's the road rage man. Everyone in front of him is going too slow. And we came back from meditation, like we went to the Transcendental Meditation Center. We meditated there in a group, which was really powerful. Like my brain was just jello, and I'm in the car going, and I don't even want to talk. And he snapped straight back into road rage mode. You know, he wasn't like angry, but still like, oh, look at this guy. And I'm just looking at him going, I don't even know how you do that. Like my brain just could not do that right now. But it's such a strong pull, you know, it's such an addiction. So chemicals are highly addictive. And yay, Trish has new boots. Can we see them? All right, sexy, nice. Well done. Hang on. Oh, ooh. Excuse me. Got to celebrate new boots. There you go. So emotions, very powerful, right? And a high emotional state is a good feeling, emotional state is a high energy, is a high vibrational state. And, you know, if I put you into an MRI and I frightened you and I put you under stress, you actually see your working memory shrink. And when your working memory, like your prefrontal cortex and all of that, starts shrinking, you're shutting down to all those higher faculties of intuition, you know, being able to tune into your instinct, having imagination and all those more creative faculties. They're literally, so even on a physical level, you know, you can just see how somebody in a lower emotional state just isn't open to stuff. So when you access the higher emotional states, the higher vibrational states, you come into alignment with the larger part of you, which is one with everything. You are one with everything, but you have the free will and the choice to cut yourself off because you are energy with consciousness. So you can choose to be in the flow, or you can choose to disconnect yourself from the flow and try to do it all by yourself and convince yourself that the world is a difficult place. And it's really up to you. Lama Tender says, if you could see above a traffic jam, we could see a black cloud of frustration and anger. Yeah, it only takes one person to think kindness to start to dispel the cloud. Ooh, there you go, Jen. Start being the little angel that dispels the traffic anger clouds. Just drop in a bit of fairy dust. Yeah, great way to look at it, Sharon. I remember better with visuals like that. I love that. That's a really cool visual. So, you know, we all know this because we all talk about alignment. We all talk about feeling good. We talk about high vibes, but sometimes it's nice to actually go, what does that actually mean, right? What does it actually mean? So having talked about all of that, vibration is a feeling. Your feelings let you know what your emotional state is like. And that vibration, that is the language of the universe. That is how you communicate with the universe. And remember, thought connects. We've already done that with visualization. You've connected up to all these different outcomes that would be really cool and open up the possibilities for squillions more. They're already there. They all already exist as a vibrational event, as an event in the field of infinite possibilities, in the quantum field. So now it's about actually getting congruent as the electromagnetic being that you are, so that you can actually start attracting those events into your 3D reality experience. So it's about holding the vibration. It's not about trying to think the thought over and over and over and over again and drive yourself crazy. You've thought the thought. The thought's lovely. Now make sure that your emotional state actually matches it. So how do we do this? How do we get into a high vibing state and stay there? Let me just check the time. Wow, we've been going for an hour. So number one, start high and stay high. Like, that's a really important mantra to remember. Start in a high vibrational state and stay there. So in the lesson, I talk about the merry-go-round, you know, the old-fashioned merry-go-rounds that you get on and the friends would start spinning you. And once you get enough speed up, you can't get off, they can't get on, and you're just like, you're stuck there. And that's law of attraction kicking. That's momentum building. And the same happens, you know, with your vibrational state. So you just have to get started and hold it long enough to let law of attraction kick in and help you build that momentum. So you want to always start high and stay high. And those high emotional states, you know, there's quite a few there. If you look at the emotional guidance scale, there's love and joy and freedom and gratitude. The one that I go with is appreciation, because it's the least loaded, you know, it's the least sort of booby-trapped, whereas love can be booby-trapped, joy sometimes can feel like you're having to fake being happy, freedom, oh God, comes with how stuck you feel with where you currently are, you know, so let's not even go there. And even gratitude, you know, can come with a lot of all that stuff that we're programmed with as young children. You know, be grateful because you've got stuff and others don't. Jen gets motion sick on there. Train, like you get on a train, that way it's linear. You get on a train, right? The train doesn't go from 0 to, like the bullet train, doesn't even go from 0 to 200 or whatever it does top speed. It doesn't go instantly. It has to start momentum, and the momentum has to build. If you suddenly catapulted it, you know, from 0 to 200K, it would run off the rails. So it's got to get stable and build momentum. And then it's just like smooth sailing, it's cruising, right? So you want to get started on that high vibing state as early in the day as possible before other distractions knock you off your perch. And then you need to be able to stay there. So in the next lesson, I'm going to start giving you more things to help you stay there, to help sort of keep nudging yourself back on the track. But let's just focus on starting there and holding it for as long as possible. So I've given you, just go with the vibration, the feeling of appreciation. Appreciation for just the really simple things in life, because the topics are not important. What's important is the vibration. The topics will get sucked into your vibration once it's stable enough, right? Once your vibration on the little things is stable enough, the bigger topics, the ones that you care more about, they automatically get brought in once you are stable enough to handle that topic at that vibrational level. Because right now, you know, if like Angela, you're frustrated that people keep cancelling on you, trying to fix that topic is like standing in front of the train that's going 200K an hour the opposite way and going, stop. It's not going to end well, right? So get started on the vibration and know that the topics will take care of themselves. You've already connected with all those outcomes in the field anyway. You've put your electromagnetic signature on it. We've got the quantum entanglement thing happening, and they're yours. You don't need to worry that they're going to go anywhere. You just need to focus on your vibrational state, which means all you have to worry about is feeling good. Simple, right? So number one most powerful thing is train yourself when you wake up in the morning, don't reach for your phone. Train yourself not to start thinking about what do I have to worry about today, or what's the biggest thing I worried about yesterday. Train yourself to just start really simple with, oh my God, I love, and honestly, just stay with that thought, stay with that feeling for as long as you can, because you can't stay there forever. And the reason is because we have law of attraction. It brings you the next thing that is similar, and then another similar thing. And this is also, you know, the mind principle of synergy that we talked about in module 2. The next similar thing will join, and the next similar thing will join, and they start gathering momentum, just like the merry-go-round. So start really simple, and just don't make it your job. Don't think it's your job to come up with a list of 10 things to appreciate now that I'm awake. No, find one, make it the simplest possible thing, and just love the hell out of it. Just love the hell out of it, and focus on going deeper into the state of appreciation rather than going wider and trying to find more things to appreciate. As you go deeper, you actually resonate it more powerfully, and then law of attraction starts working with you and starts bringing you the next and the next. So I usually go from, you know, my pillow, my blankets, my mattress, I can hear the birds, you know, and I don't really need to go much beyond those sorts of things, but they're the sort of general stuff. Sharon, we moved our bedroom around so that we face the looking at it, your amazing garden. You've got the most amazing garden and the most amazing site. We don't have curtains. Yes. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So do stuff like that, you know, do stuff that helps you really just take your attention straight there, because once you start doing this deliberately, you're going to shock yourself with how trained you have become into waking up and finding something to worry about, waking up and checking, you know, your Facebook messages or your emails or something like that. Yeah, sleeping with curtains open, it's my thing too. My husband doesn't agree, but I like it. He thinks that the whole neighbourhood must have had cameras trained on my bedroom before he moved in with me, but I think they've got better things to do. You can't really see it anyway. So yes, I love it. So, and to help you with that, set an intention as you go to sleep. Remind yourself that when I wake up tomorrow, I've got a brand new fresh start, and I choose to now let go of anything from before. I'm going to go into sleep, which is my neutral state. I don't have to take a vibration into my sleep with me. And if you want to even, you know, do a little gratitude practice, get your journal and just write down like the 3 coolest things that happened that day. Don't try to force a vibration, because that just backfires. It just bounces you out. So just enjoy, you know, and go to sleep and go, oh, I love my bed. And, you know, I know that when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to love waking up in this bed. Make it really simple, really basic. That's actually the trick. And most people go, yeah, but how do I fix the big stuff? Well, you can't fix the big stuff if you can't even master the little stuff. So just focus on that. Okay. Waking up, watching the sunrise, and doing a morning prayer of loving up my gorgeous garden and all the beings in it. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So you guys have got this. And then a couple of other things to help you kind of bring it through the rest of your day is, you know, I like going for a morning walk whenever the weather's okay. I'm not a very good cold weather walker, but you know, walking in appreciation, just with each step, looking around and like really being in the now. And I think it would probably be a really great idea for all of you to put the power of now on your reading list, because really that's what we're doing here. You know, we're being in the now. We're finding the thing right in front of us to appreciate, because that has the pull-in power to bring us more things to appreciate. When you're focused outward looking at what's missing, that's all you're going to get more of. So you've got to pull it in and focus on right here, right now. So walking in appreciation, like I do the Abraham Hicks thing where I actually walk around and go, that's my favorite tree. Actually, that's my favorite tree. I love that bush. Ooh, that's my favorite weed. I really love that weed. Oh, I love the one next to it too. You know, it's just actually connects you, like with all the plants individually. And then, you know, I always give the tree in my front yard a big hug, because they just feel so good to hug. So there you go. I'm a tree hugger. In a spiritual group I'm in, we set an alarm on our phones 3 times a day to stop, appreciate, align, connect. Yeah, it's really good to have those little hacks So I want you to keep sharing those in the group as well as we're doing this. Layla, this is what I'm doing therapy with my clients. It's so grounding. Yet settle into the present moment and explore it. And with a group, it's even more powerful. And Lee said, since the 7-day Money Magnet course, I put music on and dance about. My 4-year-old's really sick of Justin Timberlake. There's no such thing of getting sick of JT. Come on. Yeah, it's harder to do it on your own. So just find different ways to do it on your own, Layla. Just find different ways because, you're doing it for you. So, and eating in appreciation, really important. And, really important as well for your digestion and how you metabolize your food. Because if you eat in a rush while you're in stress, your body will not absorb the nutrients and actually get what it needs out of that food. So that's a really great opportunity with huge other benefits to be present, to be mindful, to just express appreciation for the fact that you have food, that we have a planet that grows it for us, that we have this amazing infrastructure that brings the food to the shop nearest to us, even delivers it to our door or grows it in our garden, all this amazing stuff. Yeah, and that's what yoga does for you. I think that's what yoga really does. It gets you in your body and it gets you present. And that's why I love yoga as a lead into meditation because, it just gets the mind, like you can't think about other stuff while you're busy trying not to fall over. That's my thing. That's what yoga does for me. Chocolate and red wine. Awesome. Okay, see you, Carly. Okay, so that's your homework, and there's a meditation there to help you connect with the vibration of abundance as well. And so what I really want you to focus on over the next week in the group, and always tag your buddy and kind of make, have a conversation and in the group so that everybody else can benefit as well. But if you kind of brainstorm it with your buddy, then we can all benefit, and it really keeps each other engaged. Notice what you're noticing and notice what makes it easier. And if you find other little triggers, like some of the ones that we've just mentioned in the chat box, share them. You didn't see the meditation. It should be down in the downloads. I'll double check that Bless put it in there. I know the other day that the wrong audio was linked to the button, but I thought we fixed it. So I'll double check that and let you know, Sharon. Okay. Yeah, all right, we'll double check. And also really notice, like pay attention. This isn't about, hey, have you done your homework? No, I haven't because I've been busy and I promised to do it by tomorrow. Like, it's good to do that, but what I really want you to do is notice what's happening and share what's happening, because as you notice and share, you help the other person have epiphanies and aha moments, and you wire yours in deeper as well. So notice the little shifts. And even if you haven't done it for 2 days, but you did it 2 days ago, talk about that. Talk about what you noticed. Because what you really need this work to be about, we're going deep, which means it's about the nuances. It's about your sensitivity and your awareness of your own vibration so that you can become the master of it. So that you can keep yourself there more easily for longer and notice when you're starting to go off track and have the tools to come back on. But if you don't start by just being aware and really noticing, then, all the other stuff isn't going to be in reach for you anyway. So that's the work. So I would love you to actually check in with each other daily, because all we're doing is we're living in appreciation. There's nothing really you have to do apart from remembering to do it. Right? But it's not something that takes extra time. It's not something you need to be in a certain place for, or you need certain tools for. See you, Jen. Mwah. Thank you for everything you shared today. That was awesome. So you don't need anything. You don't need time. You don't need tools. You don't need anything to do this. You just need awareness. So I'd like you with your accountability buddy for this month, every single day to do a check-in and go, how's it going? And even if that's just your prompt, take a moment, feel into it and feedback and go, okay, well, I hadn't thought about it, but thank you for reminding me, and this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm noticing, and then check back in again later. So you are each other's little, phone reminder, because I don't know about you, but when I set reminders of my phone, I'm really good at ignoring them. I've got one at 3 p.m. that says, do your afternoon meditation. Oh, yeah, in a minute, I'll just finish this Facebook ad I'm preparing, and, because you can't leave that undone, and suddenly it's 5:30, and so... having another person is a little bit harder to ignore. So, be each other's nag. It's a good thing. Okay, so I've talked about that, and that's it. So any questions on that lesson? And then I'll go to general questions. I need a breather. Unmute yourself if you have a question on that lesson or that homework in particular. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have time to meditate, you need to meditate. So true. Yeah, new boots is part of acting as if. I really want some over-the-knee boots, which I thought I was over, but I was in the US and everybody was wearing them, and I decided they are cool and fashionable again after all. Very easily influenced. Okay, so no questions about that lesson in particular. Awesome. So who have I got on my list? I have got on my list for general questions, Sammy and Lee. Who have we still got Lee here? Oh, Lee's still here. Yes, there you are. And did Sammy? No, Sammy's still here too. Okay, cool. And if anybody else has a general question, let me know, and I'll pop you on my little list so I don't forget about you. Not that it's hard to remember 3 names, but no. All right, Sammy. So you already asked your question, but do you need me to go a little? Oh, hang on, I just lost you on my screen. Do you need me to go a little bit deeper and just, or have you got it? Was what we went through?
Yeah,
are you happy? You're good?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Good, excellent. Yeah. And use the group, and just, ask for feedback, ask for guidance, because sometimes we need to get out of our own head. But I think, like with your business stuff I'm talking about, but I also think don't put so much pressure on yourself to suddenly switch everything up and proclaim yourself to be something else, because you're kind of already doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See you, Linda. Oh, yes, school pickups. Okay, awesome. Well, that was easy because I already did it. And then Lee. Hello, Lee. Hang on, I'm unmuting you, but is it working? Hey, baby.
Hi. Okay, so my question's a bit more general and random. It's just been something that's been stewing away from me personally since I've started doing this coursework, and like every day I listen to all the Abraham Hicks stuff just to kind of just to block out my work really while I'm at work. But one of the big things for me that I listen to on that is talking about when you're not well, when you're physically not well. Mm. And a lot of that stuff, I just can't really tap into it so much because last year I was diagnosed with Crohn's, and I've just been trying to balance that and not feel like I'm on one hand exhausting myself because stress affects it, and like I'm going to see specialists and stuff, but I think it's just, my question is about, if there's something really affecting you, how do you ignore it? That's what I'm saying, in terms of the kind of keeping the vibration and keeping the focus on trying to do as much as I can to be effective in building my life, basically.
Mm. Cool, great question. So my answer would be, you don't have to ignore it, your attitude towards it, right? So and I can really relate because my daughter is officially diagnosed with a mild case of Crohn's, and I'm like, 2 blisters don't make a Crohn's disease. She's got IBS and she's stress triggered, right? But it's about, the focus you choose to give it. So you can go, okay, this is currently what's happening in my body, and I know these things help me feel good. So I'm going to focus on the things that help me feel good and how good I feel when I'm doing them. And, so it's not about ignoring it. It's about shifting yourself to being in that my body can heal itself. Anything can be healed. I'm reading Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra at the moment, and I'm like, how have I not read this book all these years? And, it's like, wow, the body is nothing but pure intelligence. Every cell has this incredible intelligence within it, and it knows exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and has like almost an infinite number of things it can do. So when you start looking and choosing to see it from that point of view, you're not ignoring it, you're empowering yourself.
Yeah.
So I think the whole I've got to try and ignore it thing, that's going to create a lot of resistance, and I wouldn't approach it like that. Is that helpful?
That's what I was feeling. I was like, this is not working for me. Like I need to, like I'm taking steps to heal myself, but it's the mind thing behind it that that I was like just not quite getting how I should be focusing on it, I guess. Yeah.
So, this is what's going on in my body right now. It's a result of, my past vibration, how my body has responded to what's gone on in the past, and this is the current result. But my body also equally has the ability to turn all that around, to heal whatever's going on, because I actually have a whole new body every how many months that all our cells have actually changed. It's insane. So all that's being passed forward is the memory within the cells as they duplicate, but all the same cells are actually gone and have been replaced. So it's the intelligence that's creating the next version of the physical you, and the next and the next and the next, and you totally have input and say in that. And Angie's got a lot of and I don't know if you can unmute yourself in a moment, Angie, but it'd be great to hear a little bit about your health. Like everything that Angie knows is bloody amazing because she's had to learn it. 7 to 9 years, Sharon says. Okay, cool. Don Tolman, I reset my health when the results are still at a loss. Yeah, results based. Don Tolman's amazing too. So it's, I think trying to ignore it, it's just creating resistance. It's like, don't think about a pink elephant. Hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. It's just, I like the idea of me putting better energy into creating a new body for myself that's not leaving it to be stressed out.
And look, my husband is another great example. He had hepatitis B, and he had it from in his early 20s when he decided to have a drug habit, and he's 60 now, so it's fine. So he's been living with it all these years, and then he had the treatment that included interferon, which was really harrowing, and basically he spent a year on horrible treatment. It didn't work. He had a relapse, and in fact it actually took him 2 years to recover from the treatment. The treatment was so toxic, it actually mushed his brain, and it took him 2 years to just become his normal self again. And then a little bit further down the track they went, we've got a new treatment now and you're the perfect candidate, because people who had the relapse, who had a result but then relapse on the old one, are the ideal candidate, and you're about the right weight range and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, babe. But anyway, he did it, and it was only 3 months, and it wasn't the same chemical cocktail. So he was fine this time, like he functioned perfectly normally. I don't even know how he did it the first time, because he was still working every single day, but he looked like, he looked like he was dying of AIDS, basically. It's really toxic. It's horrible. And that was a really hard couple of years in our life, because, I was just dragging this corpse around with me everywhere pretty much, and he just kept going. But anyway, so he did the second lot of treatment, and it actually did work, and he's clear of the virus and all of that, which is great. But obviously his liver had a lot of scarring. But his whole thing was, my liver cells are regenerating constantly, and the liver, I think, is actually a really fast regenerating organ. And he just kept going, no, my liver's fine. Like, it's now a healthy liver, and it's smooth and it's beautiful. He'd visualize it, and he would, just talk about how his liver's regenerating. And he has follow-up ultrasounds, and the radiographer's going, you have 0 scarring on your liver. And I've been trained that, a scarred liver, like cirrhosis of the kind of level you had, cannot ever reverse itself. And he's like, well, either that or I had a transplant, so absolutely, Lee, he's got 0 signs of scarring on his liver, and his liver was fucked. Because he also used to like to drink, even though he had Hep B, so he liked to really load up his liver. See you, Sharon. Lovely to see you, and thanks for sharing all your wisdom as usual. Awesome. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, no,
good question, because physical stuff can be tricky because it's so in your face, right? Physical stuff is so in your face, and so it can be really hard to ignore. And yeah, beautiful. Great question. All right. Oh, hang on. Layla is on my list. Oh, where'd she go? There she is. The squares keep moving and I can't find people. Hello, lovely. I've got you. Okay, so you had a question about overwhelm?
Look, I think it's probably just relating back to what I was saying before, but I'm wondering if you've got any hot tips, because just the last 2 days, I have really felt like, I mean, things are changing very quickly for me. The momentum is building quite quickly, and I do feel like I'm wobbling, and I am not sure that I can ride this bicycle straight at the moment.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. I get a feeling in my head. It's like that something's going to go boom, and I can't seem to settle myself. Like I do yoga helps, and just staying still helps, and trying not to do too much. But I just wondered if you have any hot tips about how to.
Hot tips. I heard everything you said, Miriam, but what's the real secret?
Well, actually, this is something you recognize. Like, is this something that people report?
Yeah, this is something that I experience. Yeah. So
I feel like I've got so many plates spinning. And if I don't, use human powers, they're going to come crashing down on me. That's how it is. And what you were saying before about just get in alignment and don't worry about it. And I thought, that's what I need to do. So clearly that is what I need to do.
That is what you need to do. And it's easier said than done, because you've got all the plates spinning now and you've got the bicycle going really fast, and now it's starting to wobble, and there's the bushes, and they're raspberry bushes with thorns. So, I didn't mean to scare you when I actually suggested that before, because I was like, I shouldn't really suggest that to her, that, when you go fast, the crash hurts more. But it is kind of what can happen. So how I define overwhelm is it's a desire, when your desire is at a higher vibrational frequency that you're not quite up to speed with yet. So your desire's there and you're here and you're trying, like you're close enough that you can kind of keep up, but you're wobbling. So it's not that it's such a big gap that you go, I'd really love to be doing that, but I just can't see how it's ever going to happen. Like you haven't got that sort of gap. You've got the, oh my God, it's right there. It's right there. Oh God, it's right there. It's right there. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh fuck. Like you're doing that sort of trip. So because you're so close, but you're still not quite in alignment. So what you said that you're doing is actually what you do need to do. You need to back away, even if you back right away, because the reason that we often don't back away enough is because we're afraid that it'll just disappear. Yes. That everything that we've, worked towards is just going to disappear. No, it's not. It is still going at that high vibrational frequency that you can't quite catch up to right now, because you're still trying to force it a little bit. You're still trying to do it through action rather than through alignment, right? But that desire, that's always going to be spinning at that high vibrational frequency. That's always going to be motoring 100 miles an hour. And so it's up to you to actually back right off, because when you've got such bad wobbles going on where you go, okay, I just can't do it, you're better off backing right away, letting it slow right down. It's not going to go anywhere. That's the thing to realize. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you start again and you start again, and you just maintain more stability as you gather speed this time. And, you may have a go at it and it'll only last a few days, and then you might have to go back off, and then you might have another go at it and it'll last a week or two, and then you might have to back off again. But that's okay. It's not going anywhere. And all those opportunities and all those amazing things, they can just start flying like 100 miles an hour into your experience as soon as you're vibrationally up to speed with them. So there is no, I'm going to miss out, or too much time will pass, because who cares if it takes you 10 years to get into vibrational alignment, and then in 3 months have all the amazing things land on you that, everybody else has to work their ass off for 10 years and not even get. Like, we have this thing where we think, like, we get caught in this linear sort of, but I only have so much time, so many hours in the day, so much action I can take. But again, that's not thinking from a place of alignment and leverage. That's thinking from a place of physical action.
Yeah, and you've just read my mind, because that's exactly where I've been. And I've been thinking about, Lika had a beautiful thing that she said to me when we met. She said, I have all the time in the world. And I thought, oh God, like I don't normally feel that I don't have enough time in the day, but I've actually been feeling like that. When am I going to write this mad and do this research and learn how to use ads. It's just gone mad. And I think I needed to hear that I can
the inspiration is flowing so fast.
What's that?
I said the inspiration's flowing really fast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I think I need to put it down and go have a cocktail.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
See?
Okay.
And that also is a demonstration of it's all there for me and I have all the time in the world. And I can take my time to get in vibrational alignment so that I can enjoy it the easy way.
Yeah, I actually, just talking to you now, I think I'm actually, what's going on is if I don't grab this now, it's going to disappear, and I'm just, and that's not a vibration I want to send out there at all.
No, and that's what's underlying, that's what's causing your wobble, because you're going, I better grab it all now because it's finally here, and if I don't grab it now, it's going to go. So there's your vibrational fly in the ointment.
Yeah, okay, so resting down to know that, look, I've started a disc spinning. And hey, it can just keep spinning without me doing anything. And when I'm ready, come back and jump back on. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You got it. Beautiful. Welcome, darling. All right. It has been a very big call. Awesome questions, awesome comments. Yes, it can feel a bit scary. So again, it comes down to trust and faith, right? We talked about that. And we'll talk about that some more as well. So I think you all know what to do. Does anybody have any quick final questions before I wrap it up? Everyone good? Good, good, good. All right. We've covered a lot of ground. You're all doing awesome work, and I'm very excited. Oh, and I'll super quickly say, yes, it was a great session. And so good to see you be able to join us on a call, and so excited. Make sure I have to send the email out because I finally, I was waiting for all the interstaters to have the information of the nearest hotel, and they finally got it to me. So I'm sending out an email for our 2-day weekend event, June 30th, July 1st, here in Adelaide. I'll send out an email. We've got the event details up in the Facebook group already, so just tick going anyway, but I'm going to need like firm, responses from you guys so that I can organize catering and all the rest of it. But I'll get that email out probably over the weekend because it's been on my to-do list all week and I still haven't done it. So I'm going to do it on the weekend. All right, beautiful people. Love you lots. Awesome session. And see you on the next live call. See you in the Facebook group. Keep messaging your accountability buddy in the group, tagging them every single day because we want to feel what's it like, what's that energy of appreciation like, what's that vibration like, how you're going. So just keep being their little reminder alarm. Love you lots. See ya.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.